Have you ever wondered what would drive a prince, born into opulence and shielded from all suffering, to abandon everything he ever knew? What if I told you that this very journey gave birth to one of the most transformative philosophies in human history? This is not just a story, this is the story of awakening. Narration begins. Over 2,500 years ago, beneath the misty foothills of the majestic Himalayas, in the sacred land we now call Nepal, a baby was born in the small kingdom of the Shakyas. His name was Siddhartha Gautama. And though he was born into royalty with silk beds, golden ornaments, and the promise of power, his destiny would not be found within palace walls. His father, King Shuddhodana, had received a chilling prophecy 12 years before Siddhartha's birth. Your son will either rule the world as a great emperor or abandon it all to become a sage who changes the world forever. Determined to shape his son's path, the king surrounded the boy with every luxury imaginable, ensuring Siddhartha never witnessed the harsh truths of life: no sickness, no aging, no death. But truth has a way of revealing itself. The Four Sights. One day, curiosity pulled Siddhartha beyond the palace gates. What he saw would shatter his protected world: a sick man writhing in pain, an old man stooped by age, and a lifeless corpse being carried to its funeral pyre. The fourth sight, a wandering monk with nothing but a bowl and robe, stirred something deep within him. He returned to the palace, but he could no longer sleep, eat, or live in comfort. Is this all there is? Is suffering truly inevitable? He wondered. That night, under the cover of stars, he kissed his sleeping wife, Yashodhara, and newborn son, Rahula, goodbye. He mounted his horse, rode into the forest, and traded his royal robes for the simple garments of a seeker. The search begins. Thus began Siddhartha's quest for liberation, a search not just for himself, but for all living beings. He studied under masters like Arada Kalama, who taught him how to dissolve the mind into nothingness, and Udraka Ramaputra, who led him into trance-like states beyond consciousness. But each time, Siddhartha left. These teachings were deep, but they were not the end. Then came years of harsh austerity, eating only 1 grain of rice a day, meditating through wind and rain, pushing his body to the edge of death. His ribs protruded, his skin shriveled, but still no answer. He realized that starving the body only clouded the mind. Enlightenment could not be found in extremes. The turning point. One day, a village girl named Sujata offered him milk and honey. It was the first real nourishment he had accepted in years. Rejuvenated, he bathed in the Nayaranjana River, sat beneath a Bodhi tree, and vowed not to rise until he saw the truth. For 6 days and nights, he faced the storms of his own mind. He confronted desire, fear, memory, and illusion. And then, as dawn broke, he opened his eyes, not to something new, but to something eternal. This same awareness exists in all beings, he realized, yet they are lost because they do not see it. And with that, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, the awakened one, the first teaching. For 7 weeks, he basked in the calm of realization. At first, he hesitated to teach. No one will understand, he thought, but the gods themselves, led by Brahma, begged him to share his wisdom with the world. So the Buddha sought out 5 ascetics who had once trained with him and who had abandoned him when he gave up fasting. At first, they ignored him, but as he approached, something about his presence, his serenity, his clarity, moved them. They rose, honored him, and listened. There, in a deer park in Sarnath, he delivered his first sermon. The Four Noble Truths. Life contains suffering. Dukkha is the unsatisfactory nature of all things, even joy. Suffering has a cause: craving, clinging, the illusion of a separate self. There is a way to end suffering, by letting go of that craving. That path is the Noble Eightfold Path: right view, intention, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. The first Sangha. Those 5 men became the first Sangha, the first monastic community. They wandered through villages, meditated under trees, and carried only a robe, a bowl, and a heart full of compassion. But the Buddha's teachings weren't just for monks. "Go forth for the welfare of all," he said. "Teach gods and men alike." And so he walked, for 49 years, barefoot across the dusty roads of India, speaking not in riddles, but in the language of farmers, mothers, beggars, and kings. One day, a grieving mother came, cradling her dead child. She begged the Buddha to bring him back. Instead, he asked her to find a mustard seed from a house untouched by death. She searched, but every home had known loss. Through her journey, she awakened. The final days. At the age of 80, the Buddha passed away peacefully in Kushinagar. As he lay beneath the sala trees, his head resting in his hand, he offered his final teaching. All conditioned things must end. Strive diligently. Take refuge in the Dharma and in yourselves. The legacy begins. Soon after, 500 monks gathered at the first council to preserve his words. Ananda recalled the sutras. Upali recited the monastic code. Mahakashapa delivered the philosophy. These became the Tripitaka, the foundation of all schools of Buddhism. If this story moved you, subscribe to Buddha Story for more journeys into the life, wisdom, and legacy of the Awakened One. Hit like if you felt inspired. Comment below, what part of this story touched your heart the most? And remember, what you seek is already within you. You just have to awaken.